gentlemen, welcome to Z&B Live Unfiltered.
Halloween was yesterday, Zach. You don't need to go all spooky.
Listen, you
with
still
them.
You still have all the pumpkins up. I've got all the pumpkins up, man.
I do too, man. I do too.
You know, it's what it is. I love Halloween so much that it just sprinkles into Christmas time. Thank God they came out with a movie like Nightmare Before Christmas, so I could celebrate both Christmas and Halloween at the exact same time, literally for 3 months. I can now celebrate. It's now appropriate because of, or it has been appropriate since Nightmare Before Christmas, to celebrate both holidays all the way from October through December.
I'll do you one better. I had somebody send me in fan mail a Mario shirt that says Merry Hallowthankmas. So you do all three at one time and have the trifecta of consumerism holiday season full force.
I dig it.
So that's what I have. That's what I celebrate.
I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Z&B Live. I am one of your hosts, Zach M. Rutledge, along with the better looking half of the duo here, Mr. Bricks O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. Hello. Hope your day is as amazing as it can be, given how frigid it is, at least on the North Shore of Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm sure in Indianapolis as well, right?
It was snowing last night. It sucked.
It's awful. Very, very bad. But you know, the sun is out and shining on this beautiful day because we're starting Z&B Unfiltered Live, the Lego News podcast, debuting here on YouTube. It's November 1st, 2023, episode number 1. Give it up for episode 1, everybody. Round of applause.
Give it up.
Round of applause. There's the sound effect.
There
hey,
there
we go.
I've got him. We're good. We're good.
Hey, it's the live studio audience. Definitely not. But we are doing this podcast live, and will be available all across the internet at different points for your listening or watching enjoyment. I am honored to be here alongside Zach to talk about not just Lego, but the news around it and topics pertaining to Lego. Whatever we see fit, whatever we want to discuss, that's what we're bringing to the table. We have a rock solid itinerary of talking points to go over and bring to all of you. So whether you are brand new to the Lego hobby or a seasoned veteran, otherwise known as an AFOL, you'll be able to chime in with your perspectives in the comments below. Or if you happen to be watching live, we'll be valuing all insights and opinions there. But we're going to dive into a bunch of different things over the course of this show. It's meant to have meaningful discussion about the things we're passionate about, and that's why I think Zach is the perfect partner for me to do something like this with, because I get very fired up like this, and he does as well on his live streams when he's building Lego on Twitch, and while I'm doing gaming or Lego or otherwise. So it's a very awesome collaboration that we have here, and it's going to be stepping stones to get from one point to another on the topics and also the development of the show. So let us know what you think of things as they are progressing by any means of the internet, and we'll take your feedback into consideration going forward and deliver you the best Lego news podcast we possibly can, and eventually the world. But that's just day one we're on right now.
Clip
Got a
it.
long way ahead of us.
Clip it and ship it, folks, because he's pushing all this love my way. But I guarantee you give us a month here, and he'll be like, God, I got to do this freaking thing with this Zach guy again. He kicks my dog. Everything I love, he hates. Everything I hate, he loves.
I'm just used to it from the greater Lego adult fan network because of my love for Lego Super Mario that has been very, very well known in certain circles since 2020. But I think before we dive in just quite yet, we should give a little bit of background of who we are and what we do before we dive into the proper show. Because some people might be tuning in and they're like, they don't know what we do.
Right. It's like, who are these two schmucks?
Right. Why are these guys here with these opinions? So, why don't tell us who you are, Zach? Well, in case I don't know.
I like, my name is Zach M. Rutledge. I like long walks on the beach, candlelit dinners, and of course, hugging my man to my left here, your right on your screens here on YouTube. But I am a content creator primarily over on Twitch, where I have also embraced the idea of the AFL community, the adult fan of Lego community, which I feel like is a term that is going to get just, I think Lego is trying to phase it out, and we're all just going to be now insiders. Just all of us. We're all going to be insiders. We're no longer VIPs. We're no longer very important people, Brian. We're now insiders, and I think they're just going to remove all of the titles now. So no more AFOLs. No more adult fans of Lego. We're just going to be insiders. So I'm now a Lego insider, by golly. And but I have no affiliation whatsoever with Lego, hence the unfiltered portion of this show, where I'm gonna provide you a unbiased opinion on sets. You may not agree with me when it comes to what I say. You may not agree with Brian when it comes to what he says, but you know what? Tough cookies, because we have the mic. So you just have to sit, listen, and enjoy it. Take it. Take our opinions, but honestly, take our opinions with a grain of salt. You know, we're just two schmucks that like to talk about Lego, embrace the Lego world and the online community surrounding Lego, and that's primarily what I do. I love to build Lego over on Twitch, and talk about Lego and discuss Lego over on Twitch, and really give you my in real time opinions about builds and whatnot that I do. I'm not much of a mocker. When it comes to making my own creation, I tend to follow the instructions. I don't know about you, Brian, but I'm a guy that I have to be so creative in my day-to-day life that I kind of like structure and somebody just kind of
100%.
telling me what to do. And that's where Lego instructions are awesome for me. I like just sitting down, following the instructions, almost like a puzzle in a way, and just experiencing what the designers have provided for me. Whether my experience is always good, may not always be the case, but I'm just experiencing it regardless, through the designer's eyes of where they wanted to take this particular model that they've created. But that's who I am, primarily over here on the internet and on Twitch. How about you, Brian? Who the heck are you?
My name is Brian Saviano, otherwise known as Bricks O'Brien. I am a content creator across all the platforms, doing things like playing video games, podcasting, live streaming, building Lego, or anything that sparks me joy. I am obligated to share it with the lovely people that support me on all of those platforms. And I've been doing this as my full-time gig for now over 5 years and going, all throughout the lockdown and everything else. It's been quite a ride. But whatever it is that brings me joy, I share it. And that's why I wanted to do a show like this with a guy like you, Zach, because, we share this passion for Lego. And more specifically with me, I have had a lot of experience with the retail side of things, having perspective on kind of more so the insider, like not just the program, but hey, I'm in a call with Lego talking about this Mario thing or this whatever thing, and happen to be getting some products early, courtesy of Beyond the Brick, as I am one of the correspondents on there.
He just likes talking about how much of a big deal he is. Do you hear this? I was on a call with Lego the other day. It's fine.
Listen,
no big deal.
Last time that happened was a while ago, but it's been a very interesting perspective for me to dive into the world of Lego, and I've been a part of it for a very, 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 very long time. So not only do I enjoy building Lego, but more specifically talking about it and its implications on other collectors that are out there to get the newest, latest, and greatest, or people making their own creations, new creators in the community, and highlighting the very best of what we got out there. So I'm very excited to dive into the show and give perspectives on Lego. I'm known for my hot takes. If you're familiar with my work on Beyond the Bricks Quarantine Cast, during that lockdown, almost every week we would do a podcast around whatever, basically, and was coming out. So this is now full force, 100% energy all the time. Hopefully, ideally, if I got enough coffee in me, which I do. So we're ready to rock.
He's ready. He's shaking. He's so excited.
They came out with a new flavor at Dunkin'. So not that they're sponsoring the show, but
they
new
could
flavor
be.
out.
Dunkin'.
They could be. Yes.
You could be.
They could.
Z&B Live, brought to you by... I'm just saying, it could be, Duncan. Hear me out.
Or it could be brought to you by anybody, but at least for this week, it's brought to you by...
us!
Zach and I. Yeah. Because we wanted this thing to happen, not for the sake of, a fat stack of cash, because, there's no sponsors lined up this week. We want to do this because we love being able to create things and put it out into the world. And it gives us a chance to work together on just a cool idea for a project. So thank you for tuning in wherever you're tuning in from at whatever time. And we hope we can deliver the best show we can every single week, unless one of us is traveling for a multi-quadrillion-dollar deal. But more info about that, us being on podcasting services, sponsorships, and all the other things will come in time. But for right now, thank you for being here and supporting the show.
Yes, thank you so much. And let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Lego, when it comes to releases, hits us over the head with a ton of new product on a regular basis. And ladies and gentlemen, is it officially November 1st? We're out of the Halloween time, and now getting into the holiday months, holiday shopping right around the corner. What can we expect from Lego beginning November 1st? Drum roll, please. Nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, Lego hit us with no new releases on November 1st, and I am flabbergasted. Actually, all they've really done is announce so far in November the Piranha Plant, which I am actually very excited about, coming out November 6th. I am not a huge Mario collector when it comes to their Lego models, but I have been known to collect some of the larger Mario style sets, the question mark block Bowser, which I absolutely adored the Bowser set. NES is kind of a hybrid. It's Mario light, like is Mario influenced, but really it's mainly just a Nintendo model outside of like the TV side of it, where you get the overall scene. But Piranha Plant is the only official announced Lego set coming out in November. Now, that doesn't mean that they haven't hit us with pre-orders and things like that are currently available. You can get the tiny plants, but those aren't coming out until December 1st. The Dune Atreides ornithopter, I can't even say that word. It doesn't come out until February 1st. The Natural History Museum also is available for pre-order, but that doesn't come out until December 1st. So you have things to spend your money on currently with Lego. It's not like they didn't leave us completely hanging there, but as far as sets that you can expect to put in your cart and get within a couple days, or head to the Lego store and walk out with new releases, zero. And it's shocking to me that they have done this to us when they have historically have given us too many releases, Mr. Bricks O'Brien. Were you shocked? Were you taken aback that the November releases so far have been nil?
Not necessarily. I think with the Piranha Plant specifically, it's more of a case of grandma buying Christmas gifts early in November, and maybe since the Piranha Plant is Mario, leans a little bit younger, maybe that's the draw of releasing it a little bit early by comparison of like a Black Friday release or something like that, like we might see with other things. But I think this is an adjustment based on the past 3 years of Lego releasing product, since now we are fully out of COVID lockdown and a lot of the ramifications of that, right? People are locked inside, they're working from home, whatever, right? A lot of people are back to work. A lot of people are out in the real world doing real things, even though we're doing this digitally and this is still whatever. So maybe that's them going back to a more traditional release schedule of, hey, you know, the holiday shopping season starts, quote unquote, on Black Friday. So nothing that we're going to release that's a major release, we're just not going to have until that point there, or December 1st, like with what we're seeing with the Natural History Museum, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I see it more so as an adjustment rather than a surprise. So I wasn't taken aback by seeing the lack of releases, especially considering how consistent Lego has been all throughout the year, dude. It's a constant, I'll call it a constant beratement of product being released. And if you are a diehard Lego fan or a fan of multiple franchises, you're kind of, I mean, everybody's in a different financial position, but that's a lot of money to spend on plastic if you like Harry Potter and Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, and it just keeps going. So they're letting the product catalog sit for a couple of weeks. That way they can prepare for whatever else might be coming out along with what they've announced for pre-order here.
I think it's about freaking time, frankly.
Yeah.
That they let it, they can let it simmer a little bit. It's I mean, my wallet got to the point in October where I just couldn't. I literally had to make, you know, sacrifices when it came to what I was going to collect and hope that down the road, because what Lego has trained us to do now is this fear of missing out, right? The FOMO, the Lego FOMO is so prevalent on a regular basis, and you're worried that you're going to miss out on a set. You're going to not get it on release weekend or release day or whatever, release week, and then it's not going to be available and you're not going to be able to find it in stores. And the supply chain during the pandemic and the lack of Lego being available in stores ruined us when it came to this,
right,
where we started to panic when it came to acquiring these sets as quickly as possible. And they got their, just like most things, they got the supply chain worked out, and the sets are available. They are available now. It's not that you can't go out and find these things. The last one I can really remember having a hard time finding for people was the DeLorean. The DeLorean was like the last big kind of release that I remember, like, oh, I go to the store every week and it's not there. It's not there. It's not there.
And that was well over a year ago at this point.
But I feel like they've kind of gotten that supply chain worked out. What they didn't do was slow down their release schedule. And what they strategically have done to continue to influence us to spend that money on opening weekend are all the gift with purchase, all those GWPs that will run out, that they purposefully put a limited number on, and you've got to get, if you want them, you got to get out there and get them. And they're doing it again with November 1st. They're trying to now entice people, even though they have nothing released for November 1st. They're trying to get you to, hey, remember all those sets that we released and you couldn't afford because we released 27,000 of them between, you know, September and October. So you now have the opportunity to get this amazing Galileo gift with purchase set as of November 1st.
Is it amazing? Well, is that a reason?
You know what? They're going to make it amazing. Got that exclusive minifig, Brian. You can't miss out on the exclusive minifig.
They release exclusive minifigures 3 times a month, and you can get exclusive minifigures in $5 blister packs when they come out with a collectible minifigure series. Exclusivity doesn't mean anything to me. It's more based on what the thing is. And obviously, if you're like some of our friends on the Twitch side of things, yeah, you're all about science and space and everything. Of course, it's a day one buy. At least for me, it definitely isn't. And by contrary of what you were mentioning here, I don't think it's necessarily a FOMO thing when it comes to Lego and releases and the entire product catalog. I view it as a matter of prioritizing what you are most interested in. So long before Lego Super Mario was a thing, which obviously I'm a diehard Mario fan, I was collecting all the Lego Harry Potter stuff because that was the only thing that was closest to, yep, I want one of everything. So that way I can build out my Hogwarts and I have all the characters and I'm getting back into Harry Potter and all that. And then when the NES comes out, well, forget everything Harry Potter. I've loved Mario since I was a kid. So now I'm all invested in that. And I think a lot of people are encountering an issue where there's so much stuff coming out and we don't know what it is that we think, okay, yeah, I'll totally buy the Adidas shoe because I'm just seeing it in your background here. I'll buy the Adidas shoe, even though down in your core, you would love a Dune Lego set, but they're not going to make a Dune Lego set. So I'm just gonna, this is close. This is what I'm gonna love. This is great. And then they announce Dune, Ornithocopter, whatever it's called, Dragonfly thing. So it's a reprioritization of what you're interested in and voting with your wallet that way. And for me personally, a lot of these other things have fallen by the wayside. I will not buy every single new modular just because it's a new modular, because I'm going to spend that, $200 on the Home Alone house or literally anything else that captivates my interest more because Lego is releasing so much stuff all the time. Am I going to wait for this alleged giant Avengers Tower coming out, or am I going to settle for the Black Panther bust or the Hulk buster or whatever? That's kind of how I see it.
You and I both know people that are so into the FOMO side of Lego, though.
I'm very aware. Yes.
I honestly think that there might be a majority out there that are worried, of missing out on whatever. They go into it with a plan, like you said. They go into it with a plan of I'm only gonna do the modulars, or I'm gonna focus on the Dreams, line or whatever. And then they drop something like a freaking, Adidas shoe, like you literally just described it. You literally made my point here that you think you're good. You think you're solid on one specific thing. I'm going to collect this one specific thing. And then all of a sudden they give you the little candy taste and say, oh, but hey, we've got this amazing idea set that we can throw everything into. And all these people are creating, and we're going to have Jaws sets, and we're going to have, Nightmare Before Christmas sets. And we're going to throw all this stuff in here. And then all of a sudden you're like, damn it, because now they got you. Now they got you. You're trying to collect one thing, and then they keep giving you the stuff that you feel like you don't just want it, you need it. You need this set. And it pains you to your core to see somebody else with that set, and you don't want to miss out on it. And they do entice you with the most ridiculous gift with purchases sometimes ever. But by God, you get this idea of this exclusive tag to it. Yes, the Galileo set is like, meh, but they make you think that it's this exclusive minifig. This minifig's never gonna be available anywhere else, and you're gonna get it. And you know what did it, Brian? Is the secondary market. The secondary market of people attaching astronomical prices to these collectibles and saying, this is how much these exclusive minifigs are worth, and because you'll never see it again in another set. And that's the FOMO. That's the, oh my God, if I don't get it now, if I want it in 10 years and it's retired and I can't get a hold of it, but I feel like I need it at this point, then I'm completely screwed, because it's going to be 5 times the price of what it was when it was first released.
I don't want to say I'm immune to it, because I definitely am like, oh yeah, I want that right now. But I don't know of a single situation off the top of my head where I've been convinced to make a purchase more so for the gift with purchase. It just isn't something I think I do. Maybe because the gift with purchases generally aren't interesting to me. But like the Galileo thing specifically, top 5 things I don't care about for 2023. So I have does not matter to me literally at all. And I don't think any gift with purchase here has. Like when I get the VIP like mashup pack, whatever it's called, that little whatever, the pack of parts. And I'm like, okay. So at a level 3 hype train, I'll give this to somebody away. All right, here we go. And then we just give it away, and then it makes somebody else happy. That's cool. Like I don't know. I like, it's just kind of how I am, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just whatever. Just whatever.
I get it. By the way, are they still calling for those of us that are the insiders? Aren't they still calling those the VIP packs?
I have
just
no
throwing that
idea.
out there, ladies and gentlemen. Just to cap it off, the only way it would incentivize me is if it directly ties into a set that is releasing that I would otherwise get anyway. So if they're releasing the museum and there's a litall car that goes with it, boom. All right, cool. I like that.
something unrelated. Like, what does Galileo relate to with any of this?
Nothing.
Whatever.
They did it well with the with Eiffel's apartment.
Yes,
released exclusively with the Eiffel Tower. That made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, right. That's cool.
You know, I like it when they do that stuff. 100%.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the worst kept secret in Lego currently is the Avengers Tower. Why they have not officially announced this thing, which supposedly is supposed to be coming out in November, one of the few November releases that we are supposed to be getting when it comes to holiday season and Black Friday traffic. The Avengers Tower already, circulating images and things amongst Lego influencers around the internet, but Lego refuses to officially announce the set. Brian, we've all seen the images. We've all had our friends and colleagues in the Lego influencer world discussing this set. Is this a day one? Will this be a day one purchase for you?
I'll start by saying yes. And it's for a couple different reasons. In case you don't know, for a while there's a lot of Lego rumors that pop out everywhere all the time. And the Avengers Tower was rumored to be the next large-scale Marvel set off the heels of the Hulkbuster, which people were very much so looking forward to. And then, no. So now the Avengers Tower is the big and new thing, over 33 minifigures, I think like 4,000 plus pieces. It's crazy. Almost 3 feet tall, allegedly, on this thing. Not as if we know all the details anyways. But it is a day one for me. I have the Daily Bugle, as you may be able. No, you can't really. Yeah, you can kind of see it behind me. And I have the Doctor Strange Sanctum Sanctorum, which I was fairly unimpressed by. I guess the build, I was not as captivated by it as I thought I would be. And with the Avengers Tower, it reminds me of when I was younger Brian, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to collect all the Marvel movie minifigures," right? And that was during the peak of the MCU. Where, we're building up to Infinity War and Endgame and all these characters we care about. And now we transitioned into, hey, do you want to buy all the Eternals minifigures for $150? Nope, I don't, actually. So I'm not going to collect those anymore. And I'm going to focus on what I like and enjoy. And the Avengers Tower, if you were to summarize the MCU in one Lego set, it would absolutely be that, with all of those minifigures. And in case you haven't seen the images of it that are floating out there, there's Loki with the chariot from Avengers 1. There's a mini Quinjet. There's all the Avengers, not all the Avengers, but a vast majority of the Avengers, even if they weren't featured ever at the Avengers Tower. So this is really meant to encompass everything MCU, basically pre-Endgame, which is what most people are going to be looking at if they're looking for a Marvel set, I feel like at this point, a UCS one. So I am absolutely going to get it day one. I have it on good authority. It'll release on Black Friday. I don't know that for sure. I've not seen any official documentation. That's just me, flicking my finger and pointing it and feeling the winds of how things are blowing here.
Don't lick that. You don't know where that finger's been. Don't.
That's the post show. So it's been on my radar for a long time, and now the wrench thrown into everything is not only this alleged $525 purchase on day one, Black Friday at 5 a.m. when I'm probably super sleep deprived. But then immediately after that, there's another brand new release that they've decided to go out with on December 1st instead of January 1st. So you talk about not releasing anything in November. Well, here Mr. Bricks O'Brien is with $800 worth of Lego on his wish list, and I'm like, all right, so just happens all very quickly.
Hey, you've got a week. You've got a week to recoup that $500 to spend it again on December 1st, right? Actually, here's the good news: is that you can pre-order the December 1st set now.
No, I walk into the Lego store like a normal person and just do that.
They give you the ability to why not
am I going to pre-order
advantage of the why not take advantage of it? Because that helps you budget.
What's that word?
Budget.
Oh, I just fly by the wings of my seat.
But
is that adult
that's what
thing?
they're doing. They're giving you this pre-order option, and I don't. Frankly, it blows my mind why this pre-order option is not available for every major release. Anything that's going to be over the cost of $200 should be available for pre-order regardless for at least a month to give us the opportunity to budget for these sets. And it helps Lego determine what kind of inventory they actually need for release day. Now, the downside to the pre-order is they sneak in, once again, those GWPs, those incentives to get it on release day. You miss out on that potential. So you're taking the option of, I'm going to pre-order and I'm not going to have to get up at midnight or be awake at midnight on Black Friday to get said set. I can go to bed and I know I'm comfortable in my purchase. It's done. It's going to ship on release day and I'll get it in a couple days. I don't have to go fight a crowd or go wait in line or what. This is post-pandemic Zach talking. Like I used to love going. I waited outside in November in the freezing cold for the Wii to drop outside of a Best Buy.
Glory days.
The glory days of waiting, just wrapped up in a foil thermal blanket that I got at the store right next to the Best Buy, the 24-hour store right next to the Best Buy, because I was so flipping cold. The glory days of waiting for those early releases and camping out with people and stuff. Those days are gone. Those days are, we don't have those days anymore. And it's no sweat off of Lego's back to just unlock that pre-order button and say, here you go. And now we can determine what the actual inventory we need for this set, so we don't run into supply chain issues. But I think Lego likes a little bit of that. Again, that FOMO sneaking in on release day and saying, oh, but if I don't get it right now, it may not be available in stores.
Listen, maybe it's just because I can make a couple calls and then your boy Bobby O'Bricks O'Brien can just waltz up to the Lego store at 10 a.m.
Once again,
hey man,
just
listen,
might
man.
drop in the it's like, I don't want to say I'm a big deal, but
it's not
of
bad.
A big deal.
It's just. Anyways, I am looking forward to the Avengers, to waltzing up, not waking up at 2 a.m. to wait 3 hours. I'm not one of those Lego guys. I look forward to waltzing up at 6 a.m. Eastern time to get my Avengers Tower and then build it either live on camera or build it for myself. That is to be determined. But we'll see where the winds take us. I'm very much so looking forward to it. Real quick, what about you, man?
He would be one of those Lego guys if it was a Peach's Castle.
I
am all about this Avengers Tower. I want it released right now. For pre-order. I am that guy that I would like to secure my spot with the Avengers Tower, like to know that it's going to be shipped, like to know that I'm not going to have to drive an hour one direction to get to my nearest Lego store to go wait in line at 6 a.m. and hope that they have enough to take care of the line that's outside the door. I think from what I have seen of this set, I think Lego nailed this set. I think this is one of those sets that is obviously, because of the piece count, is geared towards that adult fan of Lego. However, the play options available in this set are perfection. And I love it when Lego, even though they're making a set for adults, still says, we're going to give you some of them play options. We're going to make this thing interactive. We're going to make this thing fun. You're going to be able to set up your favorite scenes from your favorite Avengers movies and put your characters in some of the, some of your favorite situations, and literally take a moment to even potentially, play with your kids with this set. And it's not just going to be a display set. Like, it is a display set, but it's not just going to be a display set. You can have the option to play with it. And that's what they did so well with the Daily Bugle. The Bugle was a perfect set, other than the repetitiveness of the windows.
Of course, but that was par for the course with the kind of building it was.
Right.
By comparison of the Sanctum Sanctorum, where I felt like, ooh, this is where the budget was a little constricted with that back alley that clearly was needed to make the lobby area, the foyer, a bit more airy. Right. It felt very condensed for no reason, where Lego is allowing for the Avengers Tower to be everything that it should be, just like that parent allowing the blossoming child to go do whatever you want with life when you go out to college, right? Just live your best life and allow it to be this massive structure for $525 instead of being like, ooh, they cut a corner here and there and whatever. If anything, it's with the minifigure selection of there being a lot of Chitauri in lieu of a couple Avengers, but in the 2012 Avengers, there's a bunch of them everywhere, and they're on Loki's chariot and all around New York City. So that kind of makes sense, but it doesn't feel like they cut any corners, and if anything, added that much more spice on top of all of it. So we're on the same exact wavelength there.
I have a feeling it's going to end up being my favorite set of 2023. It may.
Me too.
It may end up being one of my favorite sets of all time when it comes down to it, because, again, this is all just seeing the images that have been provided by other influencers in the, in the Lego sphere, Lego's online sphere here. But the play features that we are going to be getting, the minifigs that we're going to be getting, I have a feeling it's going to be hitting that top echelon of Lego sets for me. And it's not even just my love of Marvel that's going to do it. I think it's just the piece count, the build, the Easter eggs we're going to get, and all the play features and all the minifig. Like, this literally could end up, and oh, by the way, it will also fit into all of your modular cities, by the way. This could end up being like, I hate putting the term on it, but a perfect set. Like, this could end up really, and the price, considering what you're getting, isn't that bad.
No, it's like 3 feet tall,
but it's not that bad.
No, not at all. Compared to other sets that don't have nearly the same volume of stuff for what you're paying for that kind of money. No, yeah. I wholeheartedly agree. Like the Sanctum definitely felt like, ooh, $240 for this. I'm like, the Daily Bugle feels justified at the price it's at, and I feel like it'll be the same with the Avengers Tower too. And we're gushing about it, and it's not even officially revealed. That's just what people are putting out there into the world, right. Which, for future reference, we're not going to be going over like product leaks in that way, but with how much other people have talked about it, it's literally the worst kept secret that Lego has had, at least all year long.
Come on, Lego, just get it out there. I don't understand. I don't know why, it seems like sets get leaked, and regardless if this is through Lego themselves, or I'm not sure what's going on there, but it sure seems interesting that we will historically get leaks from sets, and within a day they officially announce it after the leak. Yeah. And this is one of those times where I don't understand what the holdup is. I don't know why they're really, really, really waiting to push this out, and because their ridiculous bunker videos been done for months.
Right, of course.
The ridiculous bunker product art has been done for months, and photography and stuff like this, it's done. Why? Like what's the, I keep refreshing lego.com today. Like, okay, it's November 1st. It's 25 days until this thing is supposed to be dropped. Let's go.
I think the only thing holding it back is they had a plan to release the Natural History Museum for December 1st, and that they want to get a little bit ahead of, because that is a fundamental change on how Lego does modulars, which are traditionally January 1st. Maybe a little bit more lead time for that. And then going into Avengers territory, maybe it involves the timing with Loki and Disney and Marvel promoting it. I have no idea, but that's a big enough set that it could break through the traditional, like the traditional marketing avenues for Marvel and Disney they want to promote that. So maybe it's something.
Rivendell. It's Rivendell. There's going to be people out there building it that don't have a huge stack of Lego behind them like we do. Like it's
so maybe it's like, well, I mean, not that we're going to go into Loki that much, but if you watch the series, you're like, ooh, there's stuff happening. So maybe they're like, we'll just wait for a second, let that go, and then we'll, I don't know. Maybe it's that's what I think.
Could be. That's Marvel, and Lego has done a very good job with Marvel and creating different styles of sets, whether it be a Captain America shield, a Black Panther bust, a horrible Hulkbuster set, or even what will become one of, I think, the greatest Lego sets of all time, the Avengers Tower. Where in the heck, Lego, is your DC lineup? You gave us the freaking Batcave. You give us Batman on a regular basis. My God, Lego, there are more characters in the DC universe than just Batman. You showed them off in the Lego movies. They exist. Why aren't you making more sets, more play sets? They don't have to follow a particular film or film franchise, but give us some amazing play sets that incorporate our Supermans of the world, that incorporate our Flashes, that incorporate our Aquamans or Green Lanterns. What are you waiting for, Lego? Where are our DC sets?
I'll tell you where they are. They're back in 2017, 2018, 2019, when they released all these different minifigure series based around the Lego Batman movie that had no right going into 3 series or whatever worth of minifigures, where you got all these super obscure, not just Batman characters, but DC characters to go along with from all these different comic book series. And that was before we even got Marvel anything at that point. So between that, Lego Batman got an entire movie by comparison of a lot of other franchises out there. And yes, it is Batman, but that movie implemented the Justice League, and there have been Justice League sets, but I think Lego is seeing, hey, we did all this in the past, and it just is not resonating as much as Marvel is right now. And we had this entire period of time going over Batman everything. And yes, we can do a Batcave. We can do, 1989, maybe a Dark Knight with the Batmobile last year, but there just isn't enough DC excitement in the real world to justify putting product out there, especially for kids who traditionally gravitate toward a TV show or a movie or something like that. And obviously Lego is for adults, but it's primarily for kids. As expensive as it might be for kids, it's still a kid's toy. So there has to be some sort of media that is grounded for families to resonate with and make a thing around it, or at least by comparison, right? They don't come out with a Deadpool minifigure around Marvel with the Deadpool movie because it's too much for adults and it's too controversial, whatever. But like, hey, we're going to gravitate toward X-Men eventually, so take a couple X-Men right in here. Here's the Disney Plus shows. Here's Werewolf by Night. So here's that minifigure. There just has to be one grain of salt they can roll with for DC to justify it, and we just haven't had any good media for DC, at least in the past year. There was Robert Pattinson's Batman, but DC is in a whole bit of turmoil right now with potentially being bought out by another company. James Gunn's trying to get his foot in and establish stuff. It's just too much in the air. I think, for anything to resonate, any product, anything, let alone Lego DC, to exist on shelves and sell well.
So you think it's more of a we don't have the marketing materials in the form of shows or appropriate movies or whatever. It's not a licensing issue that they're facing.
I don't.
Here?
Well, so previously, all of the all the Lego movies have been made with Warner Brother Animation. So for Lego Movie 1, 2, Batman, and Ninjago. And now they have since switched over studios and are actively actively, writer strike, actor strike, whatever, on something Lego pertaining in the future. I think that's with Universal. So maybe that has something to do with it. And that's why you're seeing Trolls and Minions that have existed in the past couple years. But maybe there's some sort of falling out with WB since they're not doing nearly as many Lego games anymore around that stuff either. But I don't know. I think it might be a combination of that, along with there just not being anything they can kind of latch on to besides, hey, we can dedicate the manpower, the budget to a really cool looking Batman shadow box right now and a couple classic Batman cars to satisfy the adult fans. But right now, there's just nothing for kids to gravitate toward, because that's all we've gotten for even Batman stuff in the past couple years has been, you know, the 1989 Batmobile. Well, kids don't really care about that. It's more so giving adults a $45 Batmobile to put on their desk at work, right? Mm-hmm. So you're even seeing it reflected there.
That's kind of my point was we don't really even have up to date Batman stuff. I mean, we had, you know, the Battinson, you know, but the shadow box is more of a Batman Returns, you know, which
did you get the shadow box?
No, I that set to me, I know there's a lot of people that were all about it and enjoyed the build and the Easter eggs inside of it and everything. To me, that was a display nightmare, and I didn't know how I would actually show it off after being built, and how I would display it and be able to really open it up on an easy basis. And I took a look at that set in the actual Lego store when it was released, and it literally took up the whole front window of this Lego store. And I'm like, I don't have that kind of real estate. How the hell am I
just
supposed to do
don't know
this?
How does light get into there on any given situation? Obviously, in a retail environment, the lights are shining right down on it, but you have to have something to convey the inner details of the bat symbol, right? That bat cave on the inside. So even from that perspective,
the people that have been, creating, customization to it, adding lights and different things to it, it's gorgeous. And I love what they're doing with it and the amount of detail they're putting into it. I'm not spending that kind of money on a Lego model for me to, after the fact, have to retrofit a bunch of stuff in there to make it,
of course,
to actually make it worthwhile, right? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Now, if you're going to give me a 50% discount on that set, 100%, it's going to end up in my backlog.
Yeah,
because I would like to get it, and then maybe eventually take that extra 50% of that money and maybe add the lights and do different things to it to help accentuate, elements of that set. But at a full price, which is still currently at, I'm not. That set makes no sense to me. It just doesn't. But there seems to be this Batman problem that they think. It seems anyway that either it's through licensing issues or it's just blindness by Lego and the designers that Batman is the only DC property that can sell, when Superman is one of the greatest superhero characters of all time, one of the most popular superhero characters of all time. There should be sets available and designed for Superman at this point. Get out of the Dark Knight we not for them to completely revisit, but like, a Daily Planet, kind of thing, even though it's very similar to a Daily Bugle or whatever. But you have opportunities, I believe, with Superman, even from a playset standpoint. You don't have to give us $200, $300, $400, $500 sets when it comes to Superman line, but give us some actual good play sets, not the Wonder Woman 1984 based off the movie junk that we got that just seemed like it was an afterthought of everybody sitting around a boardroom going, oh, well, we got to design something for this movie. Warner Brothers wants us to do something. Well, let's just throw a bunch of gold in here and make it done. And I mean, the Lego set was worse than the movie, and that's saying something. Okay. There are so many. DC was at one point in time, I don't know if it still is, but was at one point in time the more popular comic book lineup. The heroes in the DC universe were more popular than what we now know of as the MCU. And a lot of it has to do and stem from the films, and the films not doing well and not having a good direction, and this whole reboot thing that they're going through right now, and this strange area that they're kind of stuck in, they just don't know what to do. And then they got the actors strike, and because of the actors strike, they can't promote the movies or the properties that they currently have going on. And you're not really sure what James Gunn is doing. And is he, he seems like he's got a plan. We love what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, but now
he's going to do that with all of DC, with all these other characters out the gate.
We're putting a lot of faith in the guy, and I for one, I enjoyed Peacemaker, not for kids, and it's hard for Lego to kind of jump on a property like that and say, we can make a Suicide Squad Lego set. Well, can you? Like, I don't know about that. And that's the problem with James Gunn and the DC universe is, can he give us properties that fit more of that family, not complete family friendly? Lego stretches it a little bit when it comes to the properties that they grab.
They put Suicide Squad Harley Quinn in the what was it called? Oh man, with the Statue of Liberty from Lego Movie 2. I'm seeing it. I can visualize the box.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about though from Lego Movie 2.
And she's one of the most rare minifigures of that.
Like $500 right now or something like that.
Which, by the way, I have that set sealed, so I'm like, I can sell that for Avengers Tower or so because I don't want it. So there's that. Zach, do you happen to know how many, not Batman, how many DC sets are currently in stock on Lego.com minus keychains? Do you happen to know?
I believe they're all Batman, and it's like 4 or 5.
There are six total,
and they're all Batman, right?
They are all Batman.
Every single one is Batman, and that's my point. Just give us some $20 play sets.
2 of them are Technic, so technically it's like 4. So
technically,
so
see what I did there?
I think you're waiting another year or 2 at least to see anything that you're going to like out of DC that isn't Batman. And now, Zach, the pain, sorrow, and drudgery that I have felt for a long, long time, not just in life, but especially in Lego. So you can sit your tuchus there, build your Avengers Tower, and whatever else your little heart desires, because you're going to be sitting there waiting for a hot second, sir.
Well, listen, they cannot give you play scale, minifig style and Peach's Castle Mario stuff when they're too busy making Animal Crossing sets. They just can't do it. Ladies and gentlemen, the big release that they did, and I'm not even gonna let him comment. The big release that they did announce recently after a major leak was the Natural History Museum modular set that a ton of modular fans are just salivating for, just foaming at the mouth for. I myself, I'm pretty lukewarm to it. However, my man here, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, is one of those people gushing over this set. Brian, talk to me about the Natural History Museum set.
If you talk to any adult Lego fan that is into the modulars, give me the top 5 of what you want to see as buildings as part of this over almost 20-year lineup. It would be a hospital, an arcade, and a museum are like the top 3 suggestions that people want. And we finally have a museum. Now, obviously, it is not this big, giant, sprawling museum that is at $600. And I think something like that would not necessarily resonate. But with this being at, I believe, $300 US, you have a little bit over 4,000 pieces. It includes a Brachiosaurus skeleton that you can display outside or in. You have a whole lineup of minifigures in what, at very first glance, when I saw the image, I thought it was a haunted house. And I'm like, that's a little quick for Halloween at this point, right? With it being the day of. But it's an actual natural history museum. And I think it looks really good from a modular perspective. I worry a little bit about the height of it because the modular buildings have taken a lot of pride in having this very iconic skyline over time, right? This really nice lineup. And it looks a little bit shorter from what I can tell, just based on looking at images. Obviously, if I see it in person, hopefully it's different. But overall, the idea of having a museum is really cool. It is a little bit tight on the inside when you're trying to pose around minifigures and all that, but obviously you're mostly having it on display regardless. But it makes for a very unique edition when we've had things like a hotel or a jazz club, which are very city-like. And this one feels different in that it could stand on its own, like a Home Alone house where you could kind of retrofit it to be part of a modular building lineup if you really wanted to. But I really like this. I like the piece count. The value is definitely there. The minifigures tell a little bit of a story with the dog stealing the bone off of the Brachiosaurus skeleton. It's really interesting. Lots of little Easter eggs in there, especially if you're a fan of Adventurers or Orient Expedition like I am with the museum curator. Very, very cool. And it is in a world where an Avengers Tower doesn't come out on Black Friday, that is a day one buy. But we're going to have to see how many VIP points I'm willing to cash in on either of these purchases, if I might just liquidate all of it just to get it all done and out there in one go. So I am very excited about the museum modular. I've really cut back on my modulars because I had all of them from the Palace Cinema onward, but some of them I'm just not resonating with, like the garage and a couple other ones. So now I'm only getting the ones I like. So the museum and the jazz club are currently on my list to pick up and have as part of my my little lineup. I'm very excited.
The piece count to me was an interesting number to see. I looked at that set.
4,000? That's not bad.
No, well, I'm not saying it's bad. It was surprising because I looked at the set and I don't know where they're putting that piece count. When I compare it to something like the Jazz Club. The Jazz Club looks bigger. Yeah, the Jazz Club looks bigger to me, right? Looks a little bit more detailed to me. And then I see the Natural History Museum, and I just don't. I'm trying to figure out where all the pieces are because there are giant holes in what appear to be giant holes in the upper floors to that set to allow for like the Brachiosaurus head to pass through and things.
Right. And like you're looking down on a multi-level, like, I mean, we've been in museums before, right? You know,
right.
And look down.
Right. So the actual footprint on the inside of the thing is pretty tight. And
this is also 2 base plates, or this is a base plate and a half wide. So this is not your standard modular size. So I think once you see it at a Lego store or somebody building it on camera, you'll be like, oh, I get it. So you're not looking at like a square footprint like this. It's like a little bit wider. And that's where I see it. So that's why I'm concerned about the height overall, because it's technically 2 stories, but they're taller. So I can tell because I've built the assembly square, which is of a similar, if not identical, footprint. So that might just need to be a thing you see.
Gotcha. But that very well could be. And I looked at the promo videos and the promo images and the one image of the guy holding the set with the top part kind of removed a little bit. I could definitely, it looked a lot bigger than I anticipated it being when you see the interior side of it and you see kind of how tight and compact. Because when I looked at it, just without anybody for scale, I got a lot of Sanctum Sanctorum vibes that we talked about earlier. That was it felt too tight. It felt like we're not getting enough of the detail inside the set. I'm not much of a modular collector at all. When I first realized what this set was, I thought, ooh, this could be, because I was already on the fence about the jazz club. The jazz club to me was such an interesting looking set that I almost wanted to pull the trigger on that. But this one was like, oh, this could be finally kind of an introduction into more of those modular builds. And then I started kind of looking at the interior pictures, and I thought there's not enough for me. There wasn't enough interior wise going on in there because of the giant gaps and the smaller footprint around the perimeter, especially in those upper floors of what was actually going on in that set. So it's fun to take a perspective of somebody that is into modulars and figure out what it is that they're seeing and what it is that's tickling their antennas a little bit to say, oh, this is actually like, I see what they're doing and I see where they're going with it, as opposed to me looking at the 4,000 number going, oh, they're padding that number with window washers and, exterior trees and things.
Oh, trust me, they are like that. There's no doubt about that. But it also adds overall value to what the set is. And the density issue has been a thing with modulars from the very beginning. The only exception is in the pet shop, where like one of the buildings is being painted and renovated. So there's literally nothing in there. And then it feels a little barren and an excuse to not include anything. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. So I think the value here is for the person who does not collect Lego City anymore because they're too old for that. And I don't want that kid stuff. But every year, now that they're a 35-year-old grown man with a kid on the way, is like, hey, wife, I want Legos. And that is the set that they build every year, and they add to their lineup.
Ladies, the moms collect Lego too, Brian.
Come on. Well, this is from my future perspective. Okay, listen, this is just me. All right, and that's kind of what it's adding to. It's a little bit every year. And you get a little bit of a fix of everything. You get your minifigures, you get your city charm, you get to make it as part of a collective that for a fact Lego is coming out with every year, which is, I think, exactly why they're releasing this on December 1st rather than January 1st, because they know they're going to hit that adult market that is just waiting for them for that Christmas release. And I don't know why they didn't do this sooner. It really doesn't make sense to me. As a plebeian who doesn't know marketing or the real inner workings of the company, why are you releasing all this brand new stuff on January 1st instead of November 1st or December 1st? But whatever. So now they're kind of taking a step in that direction. So hopefully we see that being a recurring pattern, and that way I can stay out all night long on New Year's Eve and not care about the Lego store at all on January 1st, and I can just sleep in and do whatever I want.
Is there a reason why they wouldn't push this out on along with a Black Friday release like the Avengers Tower? I mean, is it too close? Is it too similar of an audience? Because it seems like to me it wouldn't be. And I just feel they're missing that initial. I mean, yes, December is still people are still out buying things in December for Christmas and whatnot. But it just seems like they're missing that Black Friday rush, that excitement, that excitement around, I got to get out on Black Friday and I got to spend money. But on that weekend, from that Friday to Monday, I'm blowing all of my coin that I possibly can to acquire as many Christmas presents for my family, for my friends, and for myself. It feels like they're missing that excitement for a set that should be celebrated.
Now, they might not come out with any sales or deals. Lego rarely ever does, but there might be something else that they're planning on discounting 20%, 30%, whatever, for that following December week, because they always want you to, they're going to give you a reason to come back in, right? So there might be something we don't know about, not a release wise, but something else to kind of stir the pot and get people involved there. There's a rumor of a gift with purchase that'll be like a little van that goes with. So maybe that's it. Maybe if there's a gift with purchase for the Avengers Tower, that might be it. But I think Lego is strategically doing it to get people in a month early on the modular. December 1st instead of January 1st is easier marketing, maybe in a way to convey. But they're going to make their money regardless, hand over fist, week over week, especially during the holidays. They're just going to have people buy another box full of stuff that they'll get free shipping on, or another trip to the store. And that's just kind of how they roll sometimes.
Just milking our wallets on a month by month basis. Ladies and gentlemen, our first episode of Z&B Live is basically in the can. We are fast-paced. We get through it. We try to get you through as many of the news and notes as we possibly can within that hour, and we hope to do more moving forward on a weekly basis to start every Wednesday here on YouTube, beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Final thoughts, Mr. Bricks O'Brien.
I think this went very well. I love the format. I love our energy all throughout, and how we're discussing these sets, man. You know, we're two people that respect each other, but also can amp each other up in a good way, you know, and having that sort of perspective here is great. And I hope the people enjoy it as well. Hopefully you can support us on all the platforms this show will exist on, and continue to enjoy what we do here on YouTube and beyond in the coming weeks and months. We are on the cusp of the full-fledged holiday season and January 1st releases, and there's already new stuff that has arisen in the past couple hours and days. So maybe they involve penguins, maybe they don't. We'll just have to wait and find out.
All the penguins, all the goats, all the Lego that you can possibly want and need. We do invite our audience to communicate with us. We would love to start getting your input on the show about the topics that we discuss, and any questions or comments that you might like to add. Please hit us up on our individual socials. Right now, you can find us all over the web at Zach M. Rutledge or Bricks O'Brien. Anywhere there are socials, you can find us there, and over on Twitch as well on our respective channels. Look forward to hearing from you all, and Mr. Bricks O'Brien, thank you so much for your amazing time, and
thank you for having me.
Support. Thank you to our live chat, even though we're not completely communicating with you. We are looking, watching.
We see you and love you.
We see you
dearly
and love you. Until next week, next Wednesday, everybody. I'm Zach. He's Brian, and we is out. Peace. All right.